Hello everyone and welcome to another session of Stories and Songs. Today we are going to talk about a song called When the Rain Falls on the Lonely. Quite an old song for me. It was originally written in the very early 90s, 91 or 92 I guess. And musically it came from the same general set of experiments that started with my Eurovision thing, which is basically drum machines and sequencers. So by now I'd replaced the Roland JX3P, which was a very zhuzhy sort of sound, and a very simple sequencer with a thing called an N-Sonic ESQ1, which not only had a much more sophisticated sequencer, but it also had lots of very modern sounds. So no longer the zhuzh, more of the ring and the ding, which was very popular in the kind of late 80s as we moved into the 90s. So I've got this drum pattern and little tiny sequence, a little riff going using these sounds. It's amazing that how a simple little tune can sound pretty amazing with the right sounds. Anyway, so there I was. I'm going to play you a clip from the original demo because although I can play it on the guitar, you just don't really understand what we were dealing with. So this is what the original demo sounded like. So you get the general idea. Musically, it kind of took on a life of its own then, because I was working at that time with a producer called Robin Black, who is quite a successful rock producer. This was once again at Black Barn Studios, and he was working with a guy called Mike Smith, who was one of the early pioneers of computers and music. Did an awful lot of work with Gary Newman in those early days. So Robin and Mike and Dave, my old mate Dave on bass, came up with some a pretty amazing kind of backing track, and I went into the studio and I sung on the top. Lyrically, it's just a great big wallowing pool of break-up self-pity, and this is me harping back to my first girlfriend again. I claim to be over this relationship, but it is definitely the inspiration of any kind of break-up lyric that I write. I always think about her. So there it was. We recorded this very kind of contemporary sounding synthy demo, and there it stayed. I guess once in a blue moon we might play it if we could get a band together that could make those kind of sounds, which wasn't very often. I think if it was played half a dozen times in 20 years I would be amazed. So it just basically went to sleep, and I never really thought about it again until about 5 years ago, so probably 25 years after the thing was written. A very good friend of mine said, did I ever play it in my set? Because by now I'm out there playing solo sets a lot. And I said, no, of course I don't play it, because the sounds are totally dated and I never really liked it except for the first verse and the chorus anyway. But all the same, I went back and I listened to it and I thought, well, I'll try and learn to play it on the guitar. And it began to sound pretty good. So I thought, okay, well, I'll fix the lyrics. So I chucked away the old verse 2, replaced it with a new verse 2. I thought probably a middle 8 was required, so I did that too. And suddenly it's a song which I really love, and it gets played a lot. It's been recorded a couple of times. The version that you're going to hear is from a year or so ago when we recorded it for our band album. And it features the fabulous Dan Bennet on banjo and backing vocals, and it's really such a lovely version. It's definitely my very favourite version, and it goes to show that some lovely songs can be hiding behind some very unpromising demos. Anyway, enough of all of that. Here it is, When the Rain Falls on the Lonely. In time, I might forget that you were mine. So when others talk about you, something inside me wouldn't die. Until then, seems like the heartaches never end. Life plays on like a sad old country song from I don't remember when. So I must escape, I must run, hide my face from everyone in the shadows until the hurt is gone. I will hide from the sun, 'cause when the rain falls on the lonely, it rains on all that you feel inside. When the rain falls on the lonely, you can open your eyes, look up at the skies. Nobody can see you cry. So for today, I'm gonna lock my heart away. Ain't nobody gonna ride in to rescue me, no matter what you say. And this cruel love will slowly fade to dust, and I'll go back to being me, the me I used to be, if I can remember who that was. 'Cause I feel it too much to share, too much to show, too much to bear. And the blue in the blue sky just makes me sad for what we lost that once we had. 'Cause when the rain falls on the lonely, it rains on all that you feel inside. When the rain falls on the lonely, you can open your eyes, look up at the skies. Nobody can see you cry. 'Cause if you ever want to know true love, sorrow is the price you pay. We had our moment in the sun, now the time has come for the rain. 'Cause when the rain falls on the lonely, it rains on all that you feel inside. When the rain falls on the lonely, you can open your eyes, look up at the skies. Nobody can see you cry. Nobody sees you cry. Nobody sees you cry.